Meet SAE International. You might not know us, but we've been with you. For the past 100 years, we've been revolutionizing transportation and mobility, partnering and supporting the dreamers, innovators, and can-doers who are changing the world. It's the child whose future career as an engineer will be shaped by our STEM education programs. It's the businesswoman boarding her flight with peace of mind, knowing that our committees have created the standards that ensure she gets from Detroit to Delhi and back again safely. It's the parents-to-be who are sleeping soundly, knowing that their electric car is fully charged and ready when it's go time. Driven by a passion to advance mobility knowledge and solutions, SAE's global community of over 200,000 engineers, technical experts, and volunteers continues to develop and curate the most reliable and comprehensive collection of engineering resources and consensus-based standards on Earth. The next mobility revolution is upon us. Connected and automated, electrified and sustainable. SAE will be here, as we have for the last 100 years, moving the world forward.
Hey everybody, welcome to Supercharged. Mark Z here. We're back at SEMA Garage in Plymouth, Michigan. We're going to go inside and see some cool technology, ADAS technology. They're going to show us some of the neat testing they've been doing and learn a little bit more about the ADAS technology and aftermarket outfitting. So let's go in. Hi Mike, hey.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
This is Ben.
Hey Ben.
Our general manager from the SEMA Garage.
Great.
Nice to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having us back, man. We're ready to rock here and see what you guys got going in the SEMA Garage in Detroit.
That's right.
Well, let's take a little walk around here and head back.
Yeah, so anyway, thanks again for coming. We're excited to have you here. So obviously, we're here. We're a part of the Detroit. We want to be a part of the Detroit fabric, and that was one of the big design cues that we gave to Tom Peters when we were working on this. And we said, hey, we'd really like to kind of become a part of the fabric of Detroit, a part of the fabric of the automotive landscape here. Now, obviously, we're focused more on the automotive aftermarket portion of the business than we are on the actual OEM portion.
Yeah.
But that development, goes kind of hand in hand, right? We can't. The folks in the SEMA aftermarket industry can't do what they do until the OEMs do what they do with the vehicle. Right. So we wanted to be a part of Fabric of Detroit, not only with the OEMs, but also the SEMA members that we have here. We actually have over 80 SEMA members in a 50-mile radius of the garage here. So a high concentration of SEMA members here in the Detroit area.
Yeah.
But nothing stops Detroit. I mean, that's kind of our slogan. We're here to help our members and make sure that they don't stop, right? And that they can continue to develop automotive products for the long term. So,
super. I got to get some of this artwork here. Is it for sale, or you got an auction going on, or anything?
we get a lot of questions like that. So actually, we had a grand opening about 2 years ago when we first opened the facility. It was right before the Woodward Dream Cruise, and we had a lot of different cars that came to that event. This Skyline being one of them. This gentleman who owns the car, his name is Jose Gonzalez. He's actually a designer for General Motors as well. And he also took this vehicle to the SEMA show in 2018. So there's kind of the tie-in with the SEMA show, and then also the manufacturers and also the designers, in the area for sure.
Well, one of the things I really like, Ben, is because we were here before and I spied that Detroit silhouette that you have over there on the wall. Is that something? Who did Tom do that? Or
yes, he did.
That was your work of art?
Well, we had this big white blank canvas wall, right? And we're saying, hey, how can we use that, to again kind of put forward the message that we're here in we want to be a part of the fabric of Detroit. We want to celebrate the city, and that big silhouette was one of the big parts of that. That was his idea. That was his execution. We actually worked with a local company here across the street to actually execute the vinyl graphic that they put up there, and then also the acrylic lettering that they put on the wall too. So yeah, it was that was a fun project. That was honestly kind of a last minute, as many of the designers have, right? They have these kind of ideas that hit them in the middle of the night, and then at 3 a.m. they draw something up. So that was kind of one of the last ideas they had, and brought that into the facility.
Well, of course, the skyline changed a little bit, right? The Joe Louis Arena, things are different here, and but it's still way cool. Cool.
Well, it's cool to see Detroit grow and change, right? The dynamicness of the city. So, I mean, I was downtown a few weekends ago watching the IndyCar race, right here, basically,
that's
right?
where it's at,
So, anyway, it was fun to see that for sure in downtown.
Yeah. So we're going to have some fun back in the garage. Let's take a trek back there, see what you're doing. So now, this is a garage. This is a garage.
Yeah, so we're about 45,000 square feet here, which is plenty of space for us to do what we need to do. You'll see a portion of the garage, which we actually call our soak area. So our automotive emissions tests lead us to having a large soak area, meaning the vehicles have to rest for 12 hours in a climate-controlled environment prior to going in and doing emissions testing. So the stuff that you're seeing here, much of this is the vehicles getting ready to go in and do emissions testing. So most of the vehicles that you see here are actually SEMA member vehicles from around the country. You see this Subaru from Texas, the blue Corvette in the background. From here in the local area from Magnuson. So a lot of the vehicles here, we have an eclectic mix, let's say, of vehicles, and it's all doing automotive product development and help with our members.
Great. Well, this is a cool car, and there's a cool engine over there. There's another cool car. What's this? Free rides later, or what?
Yeah. We like to spread the enthusiasm to others in the industry. So this car is actually here. This actually had a supercharger installed on it. So one of our SEMA members, Magnuson, has been in doing a lot of work recently, doing a lot of different supercharger development. Obviously, this being a supercharged Corvette, which has been on our dyno, has been in our installation facility, actually getting the supercharger installed. We provide all the hand tools for SEMA members when they come in. So they can come in, if they come in from Texas and they want to do an installation of a product, they can use all of our hand tools here and actually do that here. So they don't have to bring 6 suitcases full of wrenches and pliers and everything else to be able to do the installation. They can do that all here. So we provide that so that our members can do that product development. So this is one of those examples. The engine is another project that going into it. That LS engine is about 600 horsepower or so, so we're going to have fun and probably supercharge that. And then you can see actually another Magnuson vehicle in the background that has actually had some cowl work done and some things like that. So we have both an emissions chassis dyno where we do emissions testing and help our members with emissions compliance. We also have a chassis dyno that we use for calibration work and for horsepower runs and for mileage accumulation. So these vehicles and the dynos stay pretty busy.
So let me ask you a question about the tools. I mean, the idea is great. You got a huge toolbox back there. I saw that. A lot of fun working back there. But Dealer tools are different, right? So do you have like a good into the dealer tool service channel? Because sometimes you need a special tool to do something.
Yep.
Do you guys got access to that here?
Yeah, we do. So many of the manufacturers of those tools actually are SEMA members. So we actually, one of the cool parts about being in our industry is a lot of them come in and they actually provide us those tools either for free or for a lower cost to try to help our membership and get in front of the rest of the membership and show them how to use those tools and how functional they really are. So we have not only tools from the likes of Snap-on and John Bean and Opus IVS and others, Aztec, to come in and help be able to do diagnostics. We also have a computer from AE Tools that actually we're able to bring in all the different diagnostic tools from all the different OEMs that we can use to be able to do vehicle diagnostics and vehicle calibrations and work, like you said, for model-specific things to be able to go and do that sort of work.
Great, great. Sounds like you're running something on the dyno back there, but we can't look at it today, right? It's
yeah, we can go take a look. Yeah, we're doing a lot of emissions testing this week. So we can do both diesel vehicles. We can do gasoline vehicles, obviously, and we also, last week we were doing some work on an electric vehicle to do actually electric vehicle range testing.
Not emissions.
Not emissions, that's right.
Not yet.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right. So actually that dyno is a four-wheel drive dyno. All the dynos we have are actually four-wheel drive, so we can run any all-wheel drive configuration or two-wheel drive configuration that we need to support the membership.
Well, maybe we'll weave back to that later. I'm really keen to see your ADAS lab. Let's see what you got in that bay over
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah, that's some of our newest technology, so we'll go take a walk and check that out.
Sure. On our way to the ADAS lab, what do we got here? This is kind of cool.
Yeah, so this is our installation center, which is really the kind of the shop or the heartbeat of the SEMA Garage Detroit. So our members can come in here, they can do installation videos, they can do product installation training, they can do influencer videos, they can actually install products for development to go into the emissions lab. So all sorts of different things, right? They can also prep the vehicle to go into the ADAS lab for an ADAS calibration, and that's really why we have this piece of equipment here, which is the alignment rack. So the first portion, if you're really going to do a good ADAS calibration, you need to make sure the thrust angle of the vehicle is set appropriately. So that's why we have the alignment rack. And actually some of our SEMA members, John Bean, came in and actually donated their alignment machine to us to be able to use for the membership benefit. So that's really cool. If we go around the room, obviously we have the lifts in here. We also have very clean air for our emissions department, so we actually have an exhaust fan that pulls all of any emissions that we might create in this area if you're going to start a vehicle or something and gets those out of the facility, so it doesn't impact that background. But vehicle over there, we're actually doing some catalytic converter testing on. That's the black Equinox. This is kind of an enthusiast vehicle that we have here that we're doing some actually 3D scanning and putting that into our 3D scanning database for the members to download and use. So that's a fun project. And then the Gold Rush wide body Challenger that we have there, that's doing some supercharger development here with emissions testing. So lots of different stuff happens in this room and a lot of different tools that we can use. We also have hand tools that when the members come in, they don't have to bring the tools with them. They can actually just use our tools while they're here. And then a stop for maybe a little bit later is actually our 3D scanner. So
that guy over there?
That's right. Yeah. So there's a lot of different parts to that. So right now it's just sitting idle, but we'd love to give you guys a demo on that because that's actually a really cool piece of equipment. Because we actually have what's called a tech transfer program where members can actually download CAD data directly from Ford and General Motors. And in the case that we don't have that CAD data directly from them, we can actually do scanning for them, or if they want a specific part scanned, we can also do it with that piece of equipment. So it's super fast, super accurate, down to 25 micron.
Right. Yeah, very Star Trek. I'm going to beam over to that one a little later. I hope I can get a chance to come back.
Absolutely.
So, and then the black Equinox, the other thing is just saying that my wife drives an Equinox just like that. I'll tell her that what is here at the garage. I won't tell her about these other rides, though. she might want to grab one of those. Okay, well, let's, where's next? Where to next?
Let's head to the ADAS lab. So one stop on the way to the ADAS lab I wanted to make was our SEMA membership. So really the core of SEMA and SEMA Garage is our membership, and they're the ones that drive what we do here. They're the ones that we're working on with automotive development. So there's a program also for SEMA individual members, where if you're an individual and you're passionate about the performance industry, the aftermarket industry, there's a spot for you. Also, if you're a SEMA manufacturer and you want access to the facility, you want to be able to do product development here, we also have information and things available on what sort of benefits and programs that we have for the individual SEMA manufacturers. So whatever your, I guess, station in life is, let's say, we can help you that way.
Great.
And then ADAS actually also. So ADAS is bringing new members to SEMA. I'm Mike again, and I'm going to take you to the ADAS labs now.
Here at the ADAS lab, SEMA's Garage ADAS lab. You got two of them. What's this one?
We do. This is the OEM lab. So what we've done is we've installed a facility that is very much like the end of a production line at the OEMs, where they do the calibration on the plant floor. It supports our OEM customers and our aftermarket customers. It proves to our OEMs that we are serious about ADAS with respect to ADAS calibration and proper functionality of those systems when our vehicles get modified. So there's a few things on the table here, but what I really wanted to show you is how we actually do an OEM ADAS calibration. This calibration needs to take into consideration how far away those targets are from the vehicle, how high they are, and the distance apart they are. It will also take into consideration the pitch of the vehicle, the roll of the vehicle, and the yaw of the vehicle. The pitch and roll are perfect in this room. They're 0 because we designed the room that way. But the yaw must be configured with the equipment that I'm going to show you now. So we're going to push a button, and the yaw will actually move the vehicle into place. So now the yaw is perfectly 0, and all the settings are set for us to now put the target in position. And you'll see that the target is moving to the proper distance in front of the vehicle, the proper width, and its proper height for a proper ADAS calibration. And that's how fast the calibration is done in a plant, in less than 90 seconds.
So Mike, just so does the target move like that in the plant?
It does. In a plant, the only thing that would be different, so the floor is the same, the hardware equipment. In the plant, they would have like a big gantry system where the target would come in from the side or come down from the ceiling in an automated process. These are $1 million stations, just like the aligner at the end of a production line, just like a dynamometer at the end of the production line. Everything is done in 90 seconds or less, and this would work automatically. There would be no operator involved.
Right. And the speed is important as well, obviously, if they end the line.
So the speed is important to the OEMs now because of production, but quickly the speed is becoming important in the aftermarket because the volume of calibrations is going up so much, right? So when I started back in 2016, the glass company that calibrates did 60,000 a year. They're now doing over 2 million calibrations a year. So yeah, the volume of production.
I'd never thought of that.
Every windshield has to be recalibrated when it's repaired.
That's right.
That's the reason we're in business, to help support all of our members, whether they're collision industry, glass industry, producers, manufacturers, or software companies.
Very interesting. Okay.
Yep, so now we're going to go over to the other ADAS lab. We have 2 labs. I told you at the beginning we have this OEM style lab, but we also have an aftermarket lab. So let's go over there now.
Cool.
All right, so we're going to the ADAS lab. The aftermarket ADAS lab. So Mark, there's a lot in here. There's really a lot in here. And these are all the different suppliers that have supported SEMA by donating and contributing equipment to the SEMA Garage. Again, it's all about education for our members. This lab right here is different than the rest of the SEMA Garage. The floors are not shiny, they're matte. It's much dimmer in here. The lights are dimmable. And then the configuration of the room, it's large, it's 38 by 60 feet in order to support all of the different calibrations that are needed by the OEMs. Okay, so continuing on with the facility, the reason the room is so large is because many different OEMs have different calibration procedures. Some of them require you to be 30 or 40 feet away from the vehicle to do a calibration. And these are the types of things that we can calibrate here. So the overall system view of ADAS, it used to just be ultrasonic sensors, the orange sensors, but we now have emergency braking and lane departure, which are becoming standardized and required. And so all of these technologies can be addressed here at the SEMA Garage for our members when they modify vehicles. So a little bit about what we're doing here to support our members. We have some key initiatives. Education and awareness is one of the main things that we need to do. We have 5 different levels of membership. We have first adopters, they're already working on ADAS. Then we have fast followers and the mass market. We need to elevate each one of those types of members to the next level through education and awareness. And then the stakeholder identification, that's what I just talked about, was the different type of people that belong to SEMA. So we've identified out of our 7,000 members, roughly 2,200 are affected by ADAS. So it's not just windshields and collision, but it's also the brake companies, the bumper companies, the coating companies for radar. There's also the winch companies that are potentially moving winches, and we haven't done any research on that. But the main focus right now is our our suspension companies, which are lifting vehicles, and we're going to talk about that and what they should be doing right now to prepare for the standard. OEM and technical, Tier 1 technical advocacy. We don't have the information we need from the OEMs in order to support all of the things that we need to do to drive safely and return these vehicles back to a safe condition. So we are advocates, whether it's with OEMs or Tier 1s, for our aftermarket members. And the regulatory and government affairs. So we also participate with NHTSA, with the Department of Transportation, on the impending standards, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So we're looking for calibration partnerships. Calibration facilities like this, dedicated just to calibration, are opening up all around the country here. And so we feel that in the future there will be a need for all of our members across the country to go to a facility just like this. And then testing partnerships. So when you modify a vehicle and you're lifting the vehicle, you have to test the headlights, you have to retest the bumpers. There's lots of testing that has to be done, and especially rollover testing, or the FMVSS standards for stability control. So we're going to be working with our members on all those types of things. And then the ADAS research needs to continue. So I'm going to be showing some things about the ADAS research that we're doing now, but we've been approached by bumper companies wanting us to do radar attenuation testing. We've been approached by winch companies wanting us to do modified vehicle testing for the radars once they install a winch. And then the brake companies, the tire companies, the wheel companies, there's so much that's affected by ADAS. Think about electronic stability control. These things progress over time, but things change and they have to all be addressed. That's how technology works, right? The technology is introduced, there's some bugs to work out, we're still in the working out stages of bugs for ADAS, but eventually all of these things will be ubiquitous in our vehicles. And then the growth of this group, right? We feel that there's going to be a certification process in the future, whether it's for our members to get their parts certified or the vehicles will be certified. We're looking in the future, 5, 7, 10 years from now. What does that future look like for ADAS, and how can the SEMA Garage help?
So, Mike, on the certification process, I guess you need a standard to certify.
We do, and that's it. The standard just came out at the end of April. It's called Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 127 for automatic emergency braking.
Have a supercharged day, everybody.